According to ScienceDaily.com, a recent study has shown that the number of people ingesting artificial sweeteners in the U.S. has grown substantially in recent years. In 2012, it was reported that 25% of children in the U.S. were ingesting artificial sweeteners. This is a 200% increase since their reports that they had from 1999. Additionally, it was shown that during the same 13-year period, the number of adults in the U.S. using artificial sweeteners had also grown by 54%. Many people are turning to artificial sweeteners as a low-calorie alternative to sugar, but there are growing concerns about whether these artificial sweeteners are any healthier than regular sugar. The risks associated with ingesting artificial sweeteners can be just as dangerous as obesity. Today I would like to discuss which sweeteners are on the market and some of the brand names that they are sold under, the prevalence of artificial sweeteners on the food industry, and some of the health concerns surrounding these sweeteners. While researching this topic, I consulted journals written by professors and doctors in the fields of pharmacology, kinesiology, environmental science, and medical science. I also consulted articles published by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the popular news agency CNBC. To begin, the FDA lists 8 types of artificial sweeteners sold under 18 different brand names. The types of sweeteners are ACE-K sweeteners, advantame, aspartame, neotame, saccharin, SGFE sweeteners, which are extracted from fruits, stevia, which is extracted from leaves of the stevia plant, and sucralose. You would probably more easily recognize some of these by their brand names. Aspartame is often branded as NutraSweet or Equal. Saccharin may be known as Sweet and Low. Sucralose is popularly called Splenda, and stevia is sold as Truvia in many places. Next, I would like to discuss how common artificial sweeteners are in food. When I go to the grocery store, or I read a magazine or watch advertisements on TV, I see more and more products bragging about how they are using low-calorie sweeteners instead of sugar. Artificial sweeteners are being used in such a large variety of foods these days. They can be found in many beverages, especially diet sodas and juices. They are found in many types of candy, especially in gum, and in baked goods. They can be found hidden in condiments, and they might even be in meats and meat seasonings sold in some stores. During a recent trip to a coffee shop, I was amazed to see how many different types of artificial sweeteners were available. I managed to grab a fistful of different sweeteners at this coffee shop. 2 of them contain stevia, 2 contain sucralose, 1 contains aspartame, and 1 contains saccharin. And you can find this large variety at most coffee shops these days. People will often feel pleased that they're given the freedom to choose from so many sugar alternatives, believing that they're healthier and might help them lose weight. Sadly, they might not feel so fortunate about these choices if they knew all of the health issues that these artificial sweeteners might cause. Although companies who produce artificial sweeteners and companies that use these sweeteners in their products claim that they're a healthy sugar alternative, much research is being done about the dangerous long-term effects that they could be having on people's health. I'd now like to talk about some of these dangers that the common consumer might not be aware of with artificial sweeteners. The first effect is the opposite of what most people are hoping for when they choose these sweeteners. That would be weight gain. Dr. Tandell, who specializes in pharmacology, states that a study done by the University of Texas Health Science Center showed that people gained more weight when they drank diet sodas as opposed to regular sodas, and that these same types of studies had been done on animals with the same results. Dr. Tandell explains the cause of this weight gain by saying, "A sweet taste induces an insulin response, which causes blood sugar to be stored in tissues. But because the blood sugar does not increase with artificial sweeteners, there is hypoglycemia and increased food intake, so we wind up eating even more food." Next, in 2018, an article was published in Molecules that detailed a study of the consequences to gut bacteria in mice who ingested artificial sweeteners. The article explains that gut microbiota is important to food digestion, energy management, and to immune system health. The results of this study showed that after only 4 weeks of ingesting the artificial sweeteners, the microbiome in the guts of these mice was disturbed dramatically. The third effect that is being studied regarding artificial sweeteners is how it might affect glucose tolerance. According to Tufts University's Health and Nutrition Letter, recent studies are proposing that artificial sweeteners could be causing glucose intolerance, which might lead to diabetes. Professor Jane Shearer interpreted a journal by Dr. Kook and Dr. Brown, which details their study on glucose intolerance. Aspartame, which is one of the most common sweeteners, had the strongest influence on glucose measures in the subjects that they studied. Their results also showed that people who were already overweight showed more glucose intolerance than people who were of a healthy weight after using artificial sweeteners. This is concerning because obese individuals are already at a greater risk of developing diabetes, and they are the ones who these artificial sweeteners are specifically targeted towards. So today we discussed how widespread artificial sweeteners have become in products, the types and brands of artificial sweeteners to be aware of while shopping, and some of the dangerous outcomes of using these sweeteners. Although they may be low calorie, there are many health risks associated with artificial sweeteners that scientists are still researching today. I hope that this discussion encourages you as consumers to be more aware of the chemicals that you might be ingesting, and it might also encourage you to remove these from your diet and your family's diets to keep them safe. Thank you.